This video will be going over the coolant block part, which is a part you will be making in the horizontal mill. One of the benefits to using a horizontal mill in this is you can do this part all in one setup. As you can tell, that there's a number of features from this side, and then from the side, you also have a set of holes. Now this is actually a functional part. The part is identical to the ones that we use in the slant lays for the Haas. It's the coolant block. If you remember this, the coolant comes shooting up here as it is clamped down. So the coolant comes out here. It's forced down into these holes, which comes out these side ports. And this is where you would put the different adapters, whether it be a plug or a 90-degree or a straight through coolant line. So it is a part that we use, and I would appreciate it if you could hand it over when you're done with it, because we do use them on the lathe and we are short a few at this time. So when you write your program, remember, keep in mind you're being a horizontal mill, so you're going to machine this hole outside. Okay, face it off, do the holes that you can, right in here, and then you're going to rotate your pallet. And at this time, especially for the first setup, when you have your rough stock in there, you're not going to know exactly where your 00 is going to be because of your finished stock. So after you're done finishing this, you may want to put an M00 in your program, so when it rotates around, then you can actually find your work offset coordinates for this operation. But then your program will be written, go through, do these holes, and then after it's done, it would rotate back around, and then your pallet would change around so you could take your part out. One note I want to make on here is this 1/2 inch diameter. I recommend using a 3/8 end mill to do that. You can get away with a 1/2 inch diameter end mill and just plunging down almost like a drilled can cycle or G01. The issue you may have there though is that has to be at least 0.5, as that's what that diameter of that plug that fits in there. So if you're a little bit under, if you happen to have a 480 end mill, that will not work. So a recommended method would be the 3/8 end mill, which you have in there for this profile anyway, and so you have that tool available to you, and it's all measured and stuff like that. After you complete one part, and you want to run a part through, please feel free to do that. You can just go cut yourself another piece of stock. I mean, I can use the coolant blocks for one thing, but it is kind of nice to see it run from start to finish as it rotates around, because you won't have to change your work offset. You probably have to use a stop so your part's in the same place, but you can run a whole another part through if you want. So once again, this has to be done in the horizontal. I'll give you a couple heads up here, or one big heads up. The stock you're going to be using is out of 3/4 inch by 4 by 2 inch. So you're going to be cutting your 4 inch by 3/4 inch stock down to 2 inches. So what that means is you're going to have your sawed edges on your jaws. Okay. Now sometimes that saw cuts about as crooked as I can draw a line. So what you may want to do, and I do recommend this, is just go in either in a manual, or you can do it in a CNC, but just manually machine these surfaces parallel, not to the 1.75. But just so that they're parallel. You have nice clean straight edges for the jaw vices to grip on. Sometimes if you have real crooked cuts, if this would be your hard jaw, I'll try to draw this. Obviously that would be flat on there, but if this was cut crooked and this was your hard jaw, basically you end up with one contact point over here, and it does not hold very well. So keeping that in mind when you cut your stock. Like I said, it just takes a minute to go in a manual mill. Like I said, you're not worried about a dimension. You just want to make sure you don't cut under that. So you're just cleaning it up until you get two parallel surfaces. So if you have any questions, please feel free to come and see me. Otherwise, good luck.